If an error occurs in printing, for example a paper jam, an error code appears on the LCD of the printer. The alarm lamp of the printer lights up. Then, an error message is displayed on the computer screen. For some errors, there is a support code. The printer is out of paper. Load the paper, or remove the paper and reload it again. Flip through the papers before loading the sheets into the printer, to make sure that they are not sticking to each other. Align the edges of the sheets, before loading them into the paper cassette. When you have loaded the paper, use the paper guides on both sides of the printer paper tray to align the sheets. Wrinkled, curled, folded papers could cause error E02. Place the papers under a heavy object such as a box or a book for 10 minutes to make papers flat. Papers having some moisture could cause paper jam. Place the moist papers under the direct sunlight or over a radiator to dry them. Too thin paper or too thick paper could cause E02 error. Another reason for the E02 error are the feed rollers unable to pick up the sheet. Clean the paper feed rollers with a soft cloth and alcohol. You could also clean the roller through the control panel, selecting Maintenance, and pressing arrows until you find Clean Roller. Never load too much paper. The maximum load limit of papers in the front tray is approximately 100 sheets, and 50 sheets in the output tray. Remove all foreign objects along the paper path. If you have no canned air, you can use an air dryer to remove debris and small pieces of paper. Select the correct paper size using the Paper Select button on the printer, or you can use the printer software installed on your computer in the printer folder. Clean the print head. Open the printer cover and remove the cartridges. Clean the nozzles with a soft cloth and water. Then, reinstall the ink cartridges. If the error doesn't disappear, try to change the ink cartridges. Turn off the printer and disconnect it from the power outlet. Wait some minutes, then connect the electrical cable and try to print again. Check the paper sensors, they could be defective or out of position. If nothing works, probably you have to bring the printer to a repair center. The cover has been opened during printer. Close the cover. Press the OK button. If paper remains inside the printer, slowly pull out the paper. Turn off the printer and disconnect it from the power outlet. Wait some minutes, then connect the electrical cable and try to print again. Check if the sensor of the cover is broken. A paper is jammed. Remove the jammed paper. If you cannot pull out the paper, turn the printer off, then turn it back on. The paper may be ejected automatically. Reload paper, and press the OK button. Check the paper sensors along the paper path. The ink cartridge is not installed, or defective. If a cartridge is not correctly inserted in the printer, then it can also cause the error. Remove the cartridge, and clean the electronic parts. Remove the electrical cable. Clean the contacts of the printer. These contacts can be pointed in some printers, so take care not to leave behind pieces of tissue when cleaning. Reinstall the cartridge. Hold stop button for 10 seconds, to reset the printer. Try to change the cartridge, preferably one produced by another party, or from another batch. Try to switch the printer off and on again. The ink absorber is almost full. Press the OK button, or the black or color button, to continue printing. This message will continue to appear, until the ink absorber is completely full, at which point it will stop the printer. Whenever your Canon printer prints, during cleaning cycles, or when it's turned on, it uses a small amount or ink, to keep the print head fresh. The printer uses more ink when you perform cleaning cycles, as the printer actively flushes ink through the print head, in an attempt to remove the dried and congealed ink. All of the ink used in these procedures is funnels towards the sponges of the ink absorber. The printer estimates how full the absorber is by keeping record of how many pages have been printed, how many cleans have been performed, and so on. Once it believes the ink absorber is getting full, you will receive an error message. So, in most cases the absorber is not yet physically full, and the printer is capable of printing more pages before the absorber begins to overflow. You can reset the absorber, using one of the guides available online for your printer. They are different from model to model, and this service is often not free. Remember that the ink sponges will become full, and the ink will overflow. At this point, you must replace the sponges. They are often in the bottom of the printer. Instructions are different from model to model. Maybe the protective tape is still attached to the ink cartridge. Check if there's any shipping tape, or protective material, around the ink cartridge, and if there's any, remove it. This error code could also indicate an issue with the ink cartridge. Media type and paper size are not set correctly. Press the stop button to cancel printing. Change the paper type or the paper size settings in the printer folder, then retry printing. A file cannot be printed. Remove the electrical cable, wait some minutes, then reinsert the cable. If present, remove that file from the print queue. Then, try to print again. Check the cartridge. The ink has run out. If you want to continue printing, press the stop button for at least 10 seconds. The message will continue to appear. Change or refill the ink cartridge. IP configuration problem. Check the wireless connection. Press the OK button. Turn off the router, wait a minute, then turn it on again. Change the Wi-Fi network configuration. Specify a unique subnet range for each of the wireless direct and the Wi-Fi, to prevent a conflict. Refer to the documentation of your wireless router. Wi-Fi problem. Failed in Wi-Fi setup. Cannot connect to network. Press the OK button. Check the Wi-Fi settings, the LAN connection, and the network settings. Turn off the wireless router, and turn it back on, and then perform setup again, using another setup method. Refer to the instruction manual supplied with the wireless router, and check the settings. Connection may be successful after a while. Cannot find a wireless router during setup. Press the OK button. Turn off the router, wait a minute, then turn it on again. Perform the Wi-Fi setup again. Cannot connect because multiple wireless routers are connecting to the printer. Press the OK button. Turn off the printer, and turn it back on. Turn off the router, wait a minute, then turn it on again. Perform Wi-Fi setup again. Refer to the documentation of your wireless router. Easy Wireless Connect has failed. Turn off the router, wait a minute, then turn it on again. Try another method to set up Wi-Fi, such as the WPS push button method. Cannot connect to a wireless router. Cannot change the LAN settings. Press the OK button. Check if the printer's Wi-Fi is enabled. Check if you select the proper wireless router. Check if the password and the specified network name you entered is correct. Turn off the wireless router, and turn it on again. An error occurred while communicating via Wi-Fi, or while in standby. Turn off the printer, and turn it back on. Check if the printer is connected to the wireless network. Cannot connect to internet. Press the OK button. Turn off the wireless router, and turn it on again. Check the wireless router settings. Turn off the printer, and turn it back on. Cannot connect to server. Press the OK button. Turn off the wireless router, and turn it on again. Turn off the printer, and turn it back on. Perform operations again, after a while. If you are using Google Cloud Print, make sure your printer is registered. Failed in connecting to internet because network connection is being prepared. Press the OK button. Turn off the wireless router, and turn it on again. Turn off the printer, and turn it back on. Perform operations again, after a while. Failed in acquiring contents. Press the OK button. Turn off the printer, and turn it back on. Try to print another file. If it works, that file may be corrupted, or too heavy. Check the Wi-Fi connection, or the USB cable. Reinstall the printer driver. Scanning print head alignment sheet failed. Press the OK button. Make sure the print head alignment sheet is set in the correct position and orientation. Make sure the glass and the alignment sheet are not dirty. Make sure the right paper cassette has been selected. Print a nozzle test to make sure that the print head nozzle is not clogged. Try to print the head alignment again. The paper size settings at printer driver don't match the paper size registered in the printer. Press the stop button. Use the printer's paper select button to check if the size of the paper loaded in the rear tray matches the paper size registered in the printer. Scanning original has failed. Press the OK button. Make sure the original is placed on the glass, in the correct position and orientation. If the error is still not resolved, specify the size of the original. The original that is smaller than 3 cm square may not be scanned correctly. Unexpected error occurred while scanning is in progress. Check the cover of the scanner. Press the OK button, change settings, and perform the operation again. Saving scanned data failed because the printer's memory is full. Press the OK button. Reduce the resolution, and rescan the original. Reduce the amount of original to be scanned at a time. Reinstall the printer driver. Press the stop button. Open the cover of the printer. Detach the electrical cable. Make sure ink cartridge holder motion is not impeded by jammed paper or other foreign objects such as paper clips. Lack of lubrication and cleaning of the main axis may affect the free movement of the carriage. Ensure that the cleat film is not damaged. Remove and reinstall the ink cartridge. Remove any paper jam inside the printer. If you've installed a continuous ink system on this printer, the error may occur due to the system hoses. Check for paper jam. Search for any small pieces of paper in the printer, or a tiny object. Turn off the printer, and unplug it. After 5 minutes, reinsert the electrical cable, and turn the printer back on. Check if the error has disappeared. Verify that the paper tray is correctly set. Clean the print head, or the cartridge. If this does not solve the problem, probably the printer will require servicing. The logic board, the paper feed motor, a paper sensor, or the feed roller assembly could be broken. Check for a paper jam. Unplug the printer, wait some minutes, then plug the electrical cable again. Clean the print head, or the cartridge. Be sure that the waste ink pad are not full. Change the ink cartridges. If nothing solved the error, probably the printer will require servicing. Check for a paper jam. There could be a sensor on the paper path either jammed on, or broken. Remove the electrical cable. Clean the contact between the printer and the ink cartridge. Remove and reinstall the ink cartridges. If it doesn't work, try this method. Power on the printer. Open the cover. Remove the ink cartridges. Close the cover of the printer. There will be an error message. Open the cover, and reinstall the cartridges. Close the cover of the printer. Check if the error has disappeared. This error may be due to a defective cartridge. Try to replace the ink cartridge. If nothing works, the main board could be defective.